Peace, relatives, grand rising. Yo, it's a beautiful new day and beautiful new moment of like cosmic expansion. And I just wanted to say, I felt some shit on my heart as per usual, so I decided to go on here. And really, what it's about, it's like now is a time of like facing the darkness. So it's like we are the light, and the purpose of the light is to illuminate such darkness. And in this case, it's like for the longest time, like our parents, our grandparents, like people who lived on earth before us, just kind of like went through life almost like with blindfolds on and just assumed that all this negativity and all this darkness was normal. And what I'm talking about mainly is like war, racism, sexism, xenophobia, like any type of paradigm or type of beliefs or thinking that pretty much perpetuates injustice. So anything that says this person's better than this person and we're going to do what it takes by force to keep this person down. Like all the different isms and shit that have manifested out of that consciousness, that is what we're coming out of. But as we come out of it, as this unprecedented era of truth and light and love, that light is illuminating the darkness that has been stored in our subconscious, that we all have had in our DNA from our ancestors and from different historic periods on this earth. So now's the time that we're literally we're cleaning house, right? Like we're seeing all this shit that we've kept and we're realizing, like we don't want to keep this anymore. Like we don't want to keep these isms. We don't want to keep a world that's based in inequality. Like we want love. We want justice for all, like for everyone, regardless of who you are. So now is really a time is like we're getting there. But one big step to getting there, but a lot of people sometimes like overlook, is what we're going through right now. It's like things have to break down before they build back up. So right now we're just feeling an immense, intense breakdown like never before in like modern human history. But on a soul level, I know that this is what I came here for. Like this is when shit gets real. And if you're watching this and if you're resonating with this, chances are it's the same thing. Like there's so many old souls here right now. There's so many souls from different galaxies and universes and planets that came on this earth right now for this time right now. Now is like the most exciting time ever. Like we're undoing these patterns. We're clearing away all these systems and all these thought patterns and all these behavioral patterns that went along with this old paradigm of injustice, with this old paradigm that says that, oh, you have to choose either Democrat or Republican, because in reality, one takes from the other. So if one person wins, there's one person that's still going to feel disenfranchised and disregarded, and vice versa. That's why this political system doesn't work. This system doesn't work, and we're all waking up and realizing that, like, we are the light. We are the light of Christ. We are children of God. Like, we have the opportunity now to shift our thinking, to shift our society. But first, it happens inside. And, I say this on personal experience. I grew up in Virginia. I grew up, being a proud person of color, of African descent, and of also indigenous descent. And it's like, I totally have experienced, I don't want to say victim because I'm not a victim, but I've experienced receiving systematic racism to an extent. I have been discriminated against before. Like the town that I came from in Virginia, I lived in this town called Farmville. For those of you that don't know, Farmville was actually where Brown versus Board of Education actually spurred from, because of the student walkouts that happened at the Moton School down there. Because of the schools, everything was just unequal. Like facilities were not equal for children of color and for whites. So Farmville has a history of fighting racial injustice. So I say that to say, like, I'm so hip and aware that systematic injustice is totally a thing. And in many ways, my soul chose this embodiment to live through that and to live through some of these ugly, darker sides of our reality, so that now in present time, as all this shit is like reaching its head, I realize, I understand that love really is the answer. Yeah, so many times I have gone through life and I felt prejudice, I felt discrimination, and I felt very angry. I felt like I wanted to kill myself. I have so many times throughout life when I wanted to just fucking kill myself. I had so many times when I wanted to kill other people. And I'll be real and honest with that, because we can't pretend that we don't have these thoughts. We have to stop disregarding our emotions. We have to start getting real. And once we start owning those dark feelings, then we allow the light to come in. So by me saying, yes, I was at a period where I wanted to kill myself. I was at a period when I wanted to kill others. But that isn't me. The reason that I felt that way was because I was and I am an empath, and I was picking up on these energies of white supremacy, these energies of this larger society, of this larger system that says that you are a piece of shit and that you should feel like shit. And there's no questions about it. Just feel like shit. You're a piece of shit, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And that's wrong. That's a lie. And I know so many people, regardless if you are black, white, indigenous, Asian, Latino, man, woman, trans, it don't matter. It's so hard to be a human. We need to honor being a human. And first of all, honor just being you and your skin. And it's okay. You've made it so far, and it's okay. Things are going to be okay. And just honor you being you. Because this culture historically has taught us to disregard each other. It's taught us that we only need to believe in one thing and that we can't have our own opinions. But I'm saying, like, that's bullshit. So now we just need to really just be honest with the demons that we have internalized through living in this system. But by acknowledging those demons and by bringing them to the light, we start the necessary process of healing. Because the healing and the restoration and the rebuilding of a brand new nation and a brand new society for all cannot happen without checking the demons first. Because if we don't check the demons, what's happening right now is just going to keep happening, and there's not going to be an end. People are just going to go out and they're going to push their demons, they're going to push their trauma, and they're going to push all that shit just impulsively out in the streets, and nothing's going to get done. But in reality, most humans, we're ready for change. I'd say even all of us are. Even those of us that are wilding out, even those of us that may seem like that we're like pissed off, we're pissed off because one of the things about anger is like when you're angry, it's a sign that something isn't working. It's time for change. So yes, I believe in righteous rage. I believe in righteous anger. And that's what I've been feeling. That's what so many people have been feeling. But just be mindful of that and don't be so quick to act from that anger out of destruction. Instead, transmute that rage. Use that rage to create, whether it is creating through an art form of some kind, whether it is creating through building a totally new something. Just I urge you to use that energy to transmute it into creating something, because we're a lot more effective when we create, when we use our faculties to create. The system, actually, they want us to fight, I believe. They want us to resort to violence. That's why people are talking about, they're seeing that people are planting, people are infiltrating protests, people are planting bricks because people, the government, the CIA or whoever, the feds, man, they want us to fight. They want us to act violently. But we don't want that. In our hearts of hearts, we don't want that. In the moment, we may just react and be like, yeah, no, fuck you too. But no, we don't want that. It's a time for love. It's a time for unity consciousness. It's a time to return to the consciousness of Christ. But one of the things that we got it twisted is that in order to come to the consciousness of Christ, we just need to be real and raw with where we're at, where we came from, and to be patient, and compassionate and empathetic and loving towards our own struggles, towards our own demons. Because when we start doing that, then we finally open our hearts and our minds to actually healing. And then we're better able to relate to other people. So now is the time like never before. People's hearts are opening. But as people's hearts are opening, as we are evolving into a new consciousness, a new human, as we are co-creating and constructing actively a new earth, things are coming to the surface, and we must be very honest and mindful as things break down. Because as old things physically break down, we must allow ourselves to let go, to break down internally of things that we've internalized from this system of oppression, from the system of injustice. It's all consciousness. So yeah, it's all going to be good. We're in a beautiful new world, a beautiful new time. I'm honestly so humbled to be alive right now. I'm so excited. Like, my soul has gotten me ready for this point. Like, and I'm so humbled and honored to see so many relatives in this beautiful planet stand for humanity. Because I don't believe in a black issue. I don't believe in a white issue. I don't believe in a Latino issue or a women's issue or a Native issue. It's a human issue. That's an old way of thinking that this is this issue, this is that issue. Because if you think it's just that issue, you have this illusion in your mind that it doesn't affect you, that you're not human. Bloodshed is bloodshed. It don't matter what color you are. We are humans, and now, more than ever before in history, we are awakening to the fact that we are humans. Love is what binds us together. We are all relatives, sons and daughters of Christ. And now it's time to rise up, claim our birthright as beings of Christ, as beings of light, who are more than capable of creating a new reality based on the convictions that we are expressing. Just be patient, be compassionate, be empathetic towards you, and notice that everyone who you come in contact with is a reflection of you from the Most High. So think twice before we are so quick to act out of violence. Because at the end of the day, this new world that we're creating, it's all about connection, interconnectivity, and honoring that sacred loop, that sacred circle, that sacred hoop. Thank you for being you. And together, we own the rise. We're raising that vibe. One love, baby. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Hey, ha ha.